neighbors, enough about real estate. Let's get to grilling. Hey neighbors, my name's Steve Wickett. I live with my family over on Westwind. We bought over there in 2008. And today I want to show you how to make a really fun and exciting barbecue dish on the simplest of equipment. Have you ever heard of armadillo eggs? This is really becoming a popular barbecue dish. What they do is they take a nice cheesy stuffed pepper and wrap it up with pork sausage, a little bit of bacon, and then it's either grilled, baked, or smoked. Well, I caught wind of a variation of this dish by watching BBQ Pit Boys on YouTube, where they basically made a chicken dragon egg, they called it, by substituting chicken sausage out for the chicken. Well, I tried it. It was fantastic. I wanted to make a little bit of a variation of that myself, so I ramped it up some. Today I'm going to show you how to make the Angry Dragon. But first, we're going to pay a few bills. Las Vegas real estate is increasing in value, although homes are currently in an extremely limited supply. Whether you're looking to buy and take advantage of these all-time low interest rates or sell while buyers are extremely motivated, you need a qualified agent to help you win in today's market. I'm Steve Wickett with ERA Brokers Consolidated. We use the best marketing and tech in the industry to ensure that you win. So if you're in the market, give me 10 minutes to show you what we can do to ensure that you succeed. Call, text, or email, and we will chat soon. Neighbors, to make this Angry Dragon, what you're going to need is some trimmed chicken breast. You're going to want some normally sliced bacon. You don't want it too thin to where it falls apart, and you don't want the real thick stuff either. The bacon just kind of wraps around the whole thing and clings together and holds it together. You don't need any toothpicks or anything like that. You're going to want some cheddar cheese, your favorite brand of cream cheese. You want some fresh jalapeno peppers, and today I'm using fresh Fresno chilies. Now this is about the same heat level as a jalapeno. It's a little bit sweeter, but it's going to kind of help to build the flavor. I was looking for habanero, to be honest with you, but I couldn't find any, so we're going to use some Fresno chili. We're going to ramp that up some with some cayenne pepper. And also we're using some sea salt and freshly ground pepper. Start out by shredding your cheese, everybody. Now I used a sharp cheddar cheese, but you can use any yellow cheese you like. The reason why you need a yellow cheese is because when you slice into that Angry Dragon egg, it's going to look like the yolk. From there, it's time to start prepping your peppers, everybody. For the jalapenos, go ahead and slice off that stem end, and then you're going to slice those long ways down the middle. If you're a kitchen novice, that's fine. Do yourselves a favor and make sure you've got a nice sharp knife. And you're just going to take a common spoon there and scrape out all the connective tissue and pith and get those seeds as well. You can leave the seeds in if you like, if you really want to keep some heat, but I'm going to use some cayenne pepper to kick this back up a notch. Okay, so now you're going to do your Fresno chilies, and you're pretty much going to start those out the same way as you did the jalapenos. Slice that stem end off, and then also slice it in half long ways. Now when it comes to scraping the seeds out for this, I'm not quite as diligent with taking the seeds out here. If there's a few seeds left in there and it leaves some heat, that's fine by me. But one other favor you're going to want to do yourselves here, everybody, is get yourself some rubber gloves if you're not used to cooking with these kinds of peppers. The oil in these peppers that burn your tongue can also burn your fingertips or anywhere else that you touch with those fingertips. Should you scratch anywhere or rub your eyes, I'm sure you can imagine that would be unpleasant. Then you're also going to take one extra step with these Fresno chilies and cut those long ways into strips. So neighbors, to prep your chicken breasts, we're actually going to kind of cut these long ways, almost like we're going to basically make chicken cutlets for this dish. So just start right in the middle at the thickest part. You're going to want to use a real sharp knife for this, everybody. Don't use a dull knife. You're going to ruin your day if you do that. And just try to cut it as close to, center down the middle as you can. If it's not perfect, we'll live with it. So there you basically have two, mostly evenly halved chicken breasts. At that point, we're going to pound them out some. This does a couple things. It kind of uniforms the thickness of the chicken and makes it really nice and tender at the same time. And I'm using pink saran wrap to cover this up because I think ahead when I go to the store. I'm using the end of my pink saran wrap as it may be. And if you're a kind of a novice to cooking, the whole purpose of the saran wrap is to keep your chicken from splattering while you pound it out there. Now when you do this, don't wail on the chicken, everybody. You don't have to hit it too hard. If you do, it's gonna tear, it's gonna rip the chicken breast, and that's not what you want. We want it to stay intact. You just give it a nice little tap there. Adam Sandler style, just tap it, tap it, tap it. And basically what I'm doing at this point is I just kind of feel where the thick spots are with my hand. And you can tell when you kind of get that uniform thickness. And if you've never prepped chicken like this before, you're really going to be surprised and pleased at how much this tenderizes the meat. See? So when you're done, it's nice and thin all over. We're going to wrap these around the jalapenos after we get those prepped up. Actually, I'm going to go even a little bit thinner with this one. The thinner you go, the easier it's going to be to wrap that around the jalapeno, but you don't want to go too thin. And believe me, if you hit this thing too hard, you're going to pound all the way through the chicken. You don't want to do that. So just be patient and just tap it, tap it, tap it until you get it where you want it. And again, if you are a novice, this is also how you start to prep chicken for chicken piccata or chicken marsala, even chicken parmesan. When they say make a chicken cutlet, this is how you do it. Don't start leaving in the comments, that's not how you make a chicken cutlet. I don't know how you talk, but once I read that in the comments, that's how I'm going to assume you talk. And we're just going to go through all this chicken the same way and try to make these as uniform as possible. So as I was saying before, I've lived out here since 2008. I've always loved living out here. It took a little bit of getting used to driving this far, I gotta be honest with you. I worked at the Mandalay Bay for quite some time, and so, I kind of had to get used to that drive as I speak over this hammer here. But you gotta admit, it's much nicer than living towards the middle of town or out in Henderson. You gotta watch your small pets for those coyotes and whatnot, and every now and then, you might see a poor bunny out in the road, and that's always sad. But other than that, you gotta love all the different wildlife you see. You gotta love that they're not gonna build any far north, and we're out here on the edge of town. Even as they start to kind of build up the area, with us out here on the edge, it still kind of has, that isolated sort of an appeal. If you know anybody that's looking to move into the neighborhood, have them give me a call. I'll find them something. Maybe your house. If you're looking to sell, everybody, I would love to be your realtor. If you have any thoughts of selling at all, everybody, please give me a call. If you have any questions about the real estate market, how we're doing in this particular neighborhood, if I can answer any questions for you that way. If you want to know what your property's worth, please don't hesitate to give me a shout. If you have any questions about barbecue as well, let's do this. After you've pounded out those chicken breasts, to finish prepping the chicken, we're going to do a little bit of sea salt. Now the sea salt, you're going to give it a little bit more than you might think, because we're also going to be seasoning the peppers and the cheese by proxy. So if the chicken's a little bit salty, that's no problem. Don't overdo it though. I'm not telling you to go nuts. We're going to go a little black pepper. And to kick this up and really piss off those angry dragon eggs, we are going to put a healthy dose of cayenne pepper. Oh yeah. Don't go crazy with the cayenne. You don't want the dragons to be too angry. Have to call Khaleesi. Khaleesi, my queen. I have angered the dragons. All right. We're going to flip it over and do the same thing to the other side. I've been trying to find good barbecue spots out here in North Las Vegas especially since I've been doing cribs and ribs. It's been slow going. John Mole's Meats, that's not too far from us. That place is pretty good, everybody. I recommend almost everything there except for the brisket. Do not get that brisket. It is not good. But everything else at John Mole's Meats was fantastic. Yes, indeedy. Especially the sides. Also, everybody, John Mole's has like a, they have like a kiosk over there at the firing range. If you go to the John Mole's kiosk, they have a few things prepped up for you there too that they bring over from the main mothership. That brisket's not going to improve during the ride, everybody, so still don't get it. So here's a look at the chicken after I've got it seasoned. You know, this way maybe you could see, you know, get a little bit of an idea on how much cayenne pepper I put on this thing. I think that's a pretty generous amount. You know, if you really got, you know, a high tolerance for spice, go ahead and add more if you like. But I think with that and with all the actual fresh peppers we're going to put into this, it's going to be spicy enough. Now that everything's prepped, I'll show you how we're going to assemble these Angry Dragon eggs. We're going to start with one of the jalapenos. You want to fill each half of these up with cream cheese. If it's a little shallow, that's fine. And I'll show you why. All right. So you get these filled with cream cheese. We're going to take a couple strips of this Fresno chili and top that off. And we're going to take a nice little sprig of that cheddar cheese. I'm going to put that in the middle. That's the yolk of your egg, basically. Put the other side on there. I'm going to take one of the chicken breasts, wrap that up. All right, and don't worry, you're not going to need any toothpicks or anything like that. We're going to use some good old-fashioned bacon. Now these are a little bit fatter than the last ones I made here, so I'm not exactly sure how many strips of bacon it's going to take, but we'll find out, won't we? As the food cooks here, the bacon will kind of tighten up. And so it's really gonna kind of create a seal here and keep all the juiciness of the chicken inside as well as the melted cheese. And this will be a ooey gooey concoction of deliciousness. I'm gonna put another one of these videos out for you every month, everybody. Hold on to those mailers. In there, I'm just going to show you a few things about barbecue. I'm not going to pitch too much real estate for you until it comes time to slide that commercial into the video. All right, so it looks like we're looking at 4 slices. I got another pound of bacon too, just in case that was going to be the situation. The last time I made these, again, they weren't quite as thick, so it only took 3 slices of bacon. Ooh, that's going to be nice. And you can see that's all covered very well in the bacon, with bacon. That's going to tighten up and really be beautiful. It almost looks like a little football when it comes out. Got any NFL fans? You guys gonna be rooting for the Raiders this year? I'll root for them, but we're diehard Giants fans in my house, so you know I'll root for them until they play the Giants. I think there's going to be in like week 8 or something like that. All right, let's do it again. I'm looking forward to actually getting to go in the new stadium, although the Raiders are insane with how much they're getting for these tickets. I heard for the Ravens games are in the neighborhood of $800 for the cheap seats. That's going to be week 1 during Monday Night Football. I imagine it's going to be a great atmosphere, though. I would love to go to that game. But I'll be honest with you, I'm just as excited about the Rebels games. I was born and raised here in Las Vegas. I've always been a Rebels fan. You know, I've rooted for them ever since I was a kid. And if you've been here for any sort of time at all, you know, Rebels football, that's a tough road to haul there if you're a college football fan. But you know what? I stay with them. When they had Randall Cunningham, you know, I was just a little kid, you know, so I don't even really remember it that much. But I think that was the last time, you know, the Rebels really had a great football program. Sorry to anybody who might have a kid who plays for the Rebels or something, but I am a fan. I would imagine the new stadium is going to have to do some sort of good for the Rebels team, wouldn't you think? I mean, it seems like you'd be able to get, you know, a lot more, you know, talented players out of high school that want to come and play in that stadium as opposed to the Silver Bowl. Not to knock the Silver Bowl. I've had a lot of fun at games there. Gone to some cool concerts at the Silver Bowl. Juneteenth or Junefest, pardon me. It was like a classic rock concert. You know, that was a blast. You know, I've had a lot of fun at that venue, but I don't think that's going to compare to the Raiders Stadium. When you finish prepping those Angry Dragon eggs, they should look a little bit like this. I'm going to go ahead and throw these on the smoker. My smoker, I have a little electric smoker that cooks at about 250. It's probably going to take about 2 hours, maybe a little bit less for these. All right, so I've got my smoker going pretty good. This is my little red electric smoker here. And again, this is a great way to get some unbelievable results with some really simple equipment. Got cherry wood in here today. I like to use the fruit woods for smoking chicken, vegetables. And since we got a little bit of each here, cherry wood it is. We're gonna baste this about an hour in and kind of see how they're doing. Oh, some of these are prettier than others. All right, so these have been on here for about an hour, so it's time to baste these things. Now when it comes time to mop your dinosaur eggs, you don't have to go crazy and come up with some weird recipe. This is literally a splash of barbecue sauce, a splash of steak sauce, and I thinned it out with water. So it's about half water. So see if you can take a look at those right there. You see those are starting to turn a nice light brown. I'd say it's about halfway done, which is what we're doing here. We're gonna just baste this the one time. All right. That'll go for about another hour. And then at that point, I'm gonna start temping this. We're looking for this to be about 135 will get us there. All right, everybody, these have been in here for about 2 hours. So I'm gonna temp these. We're looking for about 135 to 140. They look perfect. Look at that. All right, we'll try one of the bigger ones here. Right in the center. Oh yeah, center's good. Let me just try that chicken on the outside to be sure. Yeah, I think we're good here, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these off, let them rest for just a second, and then we're gonna slice into there so you can see these beautiful, beautiful Angry Dragon eggs. It's about time to slice into this and see what we have here. Ooh, cuts nice and easy. And look at that center. What do you think of that there, everybody? Beautiful Angry Dragon eggs. Let's give it a taste. Just take a look at these medallions here, everyone. Oh, you can see that nice runny cream cheese and cheddar. A little bit of that Fresno chili in there. Mmm. Mmm. The creaminess of that cheese is delicious. And the jalapeno has a little bit of its crunch left as well. This is really good. Stick around for a minute. I'm going to show you how to make a fantastic sandwich out of this. So making this red pepper aioli is actually pretty simple. I just took my leftover Fresno chilies. I had 3 of them. Threw them in a little saucepan there and just, on low heat, just let it roast for a while. That'll get kind of the natural sugars to start to cook. I'm going to go ahead and pull these stems off and toss them in my blender. All right, at that point we're going to add a touch of honey, a touch of red wine vinegar, a touch of salt, and mayo. And this red pepper aioli, this is really going to kind of mimic the pepper flavor inside the dinosaur egg there. You don't want too much sugar. A bit of red wine vinegar. The red wine vinegar is going to add a little bit of a brightness to the flavor profile. And this is just a little bit of a sandwich spread, so it's not a huge deal, everybody. Do a little pinch of salt in there. And probably equal that same amount of mass there with mayo here. We're gonna go ahead and toss this on the blender for a minute or two. And we'll give it a taste and see if we need to make any adjustments. Okay. We'll pop this open and see what adjustments need to be made. Now I left all the seeds in here, so this should have a little bit of a kick. And it does, it does. And to be honest, I don't think this even needs any adjustments. I think that's gonna be real good on our sandwich. So to make this sandwich, I'm gonna start out with a torpedo roll. Butter it up and toast it. I'm gonna take the Angry Dragon egg here and slice it into medallions. We have our torpedo roll toasted. This is a little bit of that Fresno chili pepper aioli. I'm making this for my daughter's boyfriend, Sebastian. This is gonna fire him up. So we're gonna take the medallions of the Angry Dragon egg. Load that up. Gonna put some provolone cheese on the other half. Pop this in the oven. Then I have this a few levels down and that's on low broil. We'll just give that a second. Just took this out of the oven. The bread is nice and toasted. The cheese is melted. We're gonna go ahead and top this off with some fresh tomato and arugula. We're gonna have Sebastian come on over here and get on camera and have a taste. Tell me what you think, Sebastian.
All right.
Be honest.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I've had a lot of sandwiches, so. Mmm. Mmm. It's like, it's better than a Subway sandwich, and that's my favorite sandwich. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Ribs and ribs, everyone. This is it. Ribs and ribs, seriously. I'm never going to Subway again.